Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors, and we are talking about Tony Romo. No, we're not talking about Tony Romo coming out of retirement and playing for the Seattle Seahawks, although I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up at this point. No, we're talking about what Tony Romo had to say about the idea of bringing Jimmy Garoppolo to the Seattle Seahawks. Romo is now the lead analyst for the NFL on CBS, does a terrific job. I know Seahawks fans love that playoff performance that he had several years ago with the fumble on the PAT attempt. But nonetheless, Jimmy G to Seattle, Romo says that it very well could happen. Here's what Tony exactly had to say. The biggest thing that he's got to get is healthy. When he gets healthy, you'll see teams coming in. Right now, the 49ers are just staying pat because as soon as a quarterback gets injured in preseason or in camp, something usually happens where somebody gets banged up a little bit. I think that's where you'll see the value go up. The Niners will get more value than what they are getting right now, and I think that's what they are going when they're going to pull the trigger on that. So a very good point by Romo here. And we have some more quotes from Tony that we'll get to in a second. But Romo brings up the shoulder. And say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, of the quarterback that we last saw. But we don't know what Jimmy G is going to look like after this shoulder surgery that he's gone through. He's already been in the league for a long time and dealt with several injuries to this point, and we just don't know. That remains to be seen what this version of Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look like, for better or for worse. So we'll talk about where he could fit in Seattle, what Romo had to say about that in just a second. But got to have the Seahawks fans weigh in on our pinned comment today. Should the Seahawks trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm sure that the fan base here is going to feel one way or another. So what better way to ask this question than to type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it while the ad's playing. Let me know. HY hell yes for trading for Jimmy G. HN hell no for trading for Jimmy G. And on the other side, we'll get you more from what Tony Romo had to say. Here's more from Romo on the idea of Garoppolo to Seattle. I could see that, but it's usually rare because you'd have to be getting a lot more for that. You know this person knows your team inside and out, and you don't want someone else in the division to have that kind of information or that talent and that ability. Now, if they think he's Donovan McNabb or somebody else and they view him better or worse, then that's going to change it as well. If they view him as a really talented guy but view Trey Lance as just a little more talented, they probably won't do that and trade him within the division. But if they view him not at that level, then that would be different. So an interesting take from Tony Romo. He says he could see it happening, but obviously a lot of obstacles in the way for that type of thing to happen. And there is a slim history of intra-division trades. It doesn't happen very often. You hear Romo bring up the Donovan McNabb example when he was traded from the Eagles to the now Washington Commanders, but you go back even before that, Wes Welker was traded in 2007 from the Miami Dolphins to the New England Patriots, and then back in 2002, Drew Bledsoe, after getting replaced by Tom Brady, was traded within the division to the Buffalo Bills from the New England Patriots. So we have seen these things before, but they don't happen that often. Now, I will say that I do think that you're seeing Romo promote Jimmy G of sorts because of the connection they have. They both went to Eastern Illinois, so something to keep in mind that you might see Romo, I'm not going to call him disingenuous, but maybe trying to help his fellow brother at Eastern Illinois out, trying to promote the idea of him ending up in Seattle. I think that's not out of the question when you think about where Romo's coming from on this. So, with that said, is Tony Romo right about the idea of Jimmy G going to Seattle? That they could make a trade. He says it could happen. What say you? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type in for no if Tony Romo is right or wrong about Jimmy G and the possibility of him heading to the Seattle Seahawks. Got a great deal that we are offering our viewers of Seahawks Today. If you head over to chatsports.com/Seahawks combo, we are offering the throwback shirts and long sleeve shirts. As you can see, it is from the old AFC days of the Seattle Seahawks, and they are looking great. And, I know it feels hot outside right now, but it won't be that much longer until we'll all be wearing long sleeves again. So might as well get the combination now while supplies last. Here's what I'm going to offer you. You buy this right now at chatsports.com/Seahawks combo, I'm going to give you 25% off. That's what I'm going to do for you. I'm just that type of guy. So go ahead and head over now, chatsports.com/Seahawks combo, 25% off this combo, and you will not regret it. You'll be looking good. Okay, with all that being said, please, for all things that are holy, Seattle, don't trade for Jimmy G. Now, I'm not saying that I'm opposed to the Seahawks bringing in Jimmy G at all. What I'm saying is I would not give up draft capital, and here's why. Look, Jimmy G's got 1 year left. He's owed close to $26 million, okay? If the Niners cut him before week 1, which is what they will likely do if they don't find a trade partner, then they would only count $1.4 million of that $26 million against the salary cap. So they would cut him. They wouldn't get anything returned, but at least for the Niners' sake, they're not paying him that $26 million. So that's where I get to circle all this together, to put a bow on it, per se, is that the Niners essentially could cut Jimmy G, and you could have him in Seattle as a free agent for, I don't know, $10, $11, $12 million, and not have to give up anything and not have to pay the $26 million either. Garoppolo, that's fine. If you want to sign him as a free agent where it doesn't cost you as much salary-wise and it also does not cost you giving up any compensation, that's okay. But a trade, that's where I hold the phone and say, no way, Jose. Don't do the trade for Garoppolo. If you want to sign him as a free agent, that's okay with me. Now, if there is a move, whether it's by trade or free agency or whatever this team decides to do for that matter, we are going to let you know. You'll be the first to know here on Seahawks Today as we're covering this team each and every day on the channel with news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more. We're counting down to kickoff. It is getting so close, and I cannot wait for it. Training camp just around the corner as well. We'll be all over it here on Seahawks Today. So go ahead and subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn the notifications on as well so you never miss a moment of what we're doing here on the channel. youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Got to shout out the Noti Gang, by the way. All this month, we are encouraging our Seahawks Today viewers to turn on notifications. And I told you, I said if you sent me a screenshot that you have the noties on, I was going to shout you out. So Ralph, Ranjit, 6-time, Michael, you guys are real ones, and we thank you for being a part of what we're doing here on Seahawks Today for turn on those noties. You're the first to see what we're doing each day. So thank you guys for that and for being loyal watchers here on Seahawks Today. Here is more on Jimmy G that we'll get to. The original report, remember all this goes back to from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN a few days ago, what he had to say. I'm told that internally they've discussed the possibility that the Seahawks of Garoppolo playing for them. They've done their film work to see how he would fit. Certainly tricky to do a trade inside of the NFC West, but the 49ers in Seattle know they can sort of wait this out. The 49ers have limited cap space right now, I think around $5 million. They want to re-sign Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel. To do that, they need some of Garoppolo's base salary. Seattle probably knows that, and maybe they won't make a trade and wait for the 49ers to release him. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here, folks. Jeremy Fowler is spot on here. Look, wait a minute. Don't let it cost you anything. And then don't help your enemy in the process either. If you trade for Garoppolo, then not only are you going to have to lose something to get him, you're also helping the Niners get out of salary cap hell, essentially. And you would make things tougher on them if you go ahead and force them to release him and not give up anything at all. So, yes, Fowler's spot on that. Where will Jimmy G play week 1? That remains to be seen. Will it be in Seattle? Will he be in San Francisco? Will it be somewhere else? Let me know in the comments section. Type C for Seattle. Type SF for San Francisco. If it's somebody else's, type of other. Let me know. Where do you think Jimmy G will end up week one? I think everything's up in the air right now. We're just playing the waiting game to see what happens. The last several years for Jimmy Garoppolo, as you can see, back to 2018 and 2020, missed a lot of time with injuries. But when he has played, he's been fine. Not spectacular, but not bad either. 2019, the season the Niners went to the Super Bowl, had 27 touchdowns and 13 picks. Last year, the Niners went to the NFC Championship game, and Garoppolo threw for 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, and around 3,800 yards. You compare that to the quarterbacks on the Seahawks roster right now, Garoppolo's a lot better than what the Seahawks currently have. Drew Lock, 25 and 20 touchdown interception ratio, completion percentage just under 60%. Compare that to Geno Smith, also a completion percentage under 60% as well. Not great there, the numbers when you compare those quarterbacks. But nonetheless, Jimmy G would be the most talented quarterback I think still available, but you have to be careful on how you bring Jimmy G to Seattle if you do so.